The Life of Buddha by Andre Ferdinand Harold. Read by Alan Davis Drake. This is a CloudMountain production. 1. King Suddhodana and Queen Maya. Serene and magnificent was this city where once had dwelt the great hermit Kapila. It seemed to be built out of some fragment of the sky. The walls were like clouds of light, and the houses and gardens radiated a divine splendor. Precious stones glistened everywhere. Within its gates darkness was as little known as poverty. At night, when silver moonbeams fingered each turret, the city was like a pond of lilies. By day, when the terraces were bathed with golden sunshine, the city was like a river of lotuses. King Suddhodana reigned in Kapilavastu. He was its brightest ornament. He was kindly and generous, modest and just. He pursued his bravest enemies, and they fell before him in battle like elephants struck down by Indra. And as darkness is dissipated by the sharp rays of the sun, even so were the wicked vanquished by his radiant glory. He brought light into the world, and he pointed out the true path to those who were close to him. His great wisdom gained for him many friends, many courageous, discerning friends, and as starlight intensifies the brightness of the moon, so did their brilliance enhance his splendor. Suddhodana, king of the Sakya race, had wed many queens. His favorite among them was Maya. She was beautiful. It was as if the goddess Lakshmi herself had strayed into the world. When she spoke, it was like the song of birds in the spring, and her words were sweet and pleasant. Her hair was the color of the black bee, her forehead was as chaste as a diamond, her eyes as cool as a young blue lotus leaf, and no frown ever marred the exquisite curve of her brows. She was virtuous. She desired the happiness of her subjects. She was attentive to the pious precepts of her teachers. She was truthful, and her conduct was exemplary. King Suddhodana and Queen Maya lived quietly and happily in Kapilavastu. One day the queen bathed and perfumed her body, then attired herself in a delicate-colored robe and covered her arms with jewels. Golden bangles tinkled about her ankles, and her face was radiant with happiness as she sought the king's presence. Suddhodana was seated in a great hall. Sweet music was lulling his tranquil reverie. Maya took the seat on his right, and she said to him, "Deign to listen, my lord. Deign to grant the favor I have to ask you, O protector of the earth." "Speak, my queen," replied Suddhodana. "What is this favor?" "My lord, there is great suffering in the world, and I look with compassion on all who suffer. I would be helpful to my fellow creatures. I would close my mind to evil thoughts. And since I shall forbear doing and thinking evil, and since I am thus kind to myself, I would be helpful. I would be kind to others too. I will put aside pride, O king, and I will not listen to the voice of evil desire. I will never utter a vain or dishonorable word. My lord, henceforth I will lead a life of austerity. I will fast. I will never bear ill or commit wickedness, suffer anxiety or hatred, no anger or covetousness. I will be satisfied with my lot. I will forswear deceit and envy. I will be pure. I will walk in the straight path. I will practice virtue. And because of these things, my eyes are now smiling. Because of these things, my lips are now joyous." She paused for a moment. The king gazed at her in tender admiration. She continued, "My lord, I ask you to respect my austere life. Do not enter the dim forest of desire. Allow me to observe the holy law of abstinence. I shall repair to those apartments that are in the lofty reaches of the palace, and there, where the swans build their nests, have prepared for me a couch strewn with flowers. a soft, perfumed couch. My maiden shall attend to my wants, and you may dismiss the eunuchs, the guards, and all vulgar servants. I would be spared the sight of ugliness, the sound of revelry, and the odor of things unpleasant." She said no more. The king replied, "So be it. The favor you ask I grant." And he commanded, "Up there in the lofty reaches of the palace, where air throbs with the song of the swans, let the queen, resplendent in gold and precious stones, rest on the couch of rare flowers, and let there be music. And to her maidens gathered about her she will be like a daughter of the gods in some celestial garden." The queen rose. "It is well, my lord," she said. "But hear me further. Free your prisoners. Give generously to the poor. Let men and women and children be happy. Be merciful, O king, and, that the world may be joyous, be a father to all living creatures." She then left the hall and went to the top of the royal palace. It was the advent of spring. Birds darted and wheeled above the terraces. Birds sang in the trees. The gardens were in flower. On the surface of the ponds the lotus buds were unfolding. And as the queen sought her bower, the piping notes of flutes and the deeper harmony of strings resounded of their own accord, and a refulgent glory appeared over the palace, a glory so perfect that the sunlight turned to shadow.